In front, Bruce Penhall from the USA on 6 points. Placings from Dave Jessup and the shock merchant Kai Niemi from Finland on 5 each. Billy Sanders, Australia, Finn Thomsen, Denmark have 4 points. Then we have a cluster of riders on 3 points. Scott Autrey, Peter Collins there from England, John Davis from England, Michael Lee and Chris Morton. Now all those at the moment would be among the 10 qualifiers, but breathing right down their necks we have John Louis, Ivan Mauger, Hans Nielsen and Ole Olsen, some big names in among them on 2 points each. On the inside there, Mitch Jessup, you can see in the red helmet colour, Mitch has 1 point so far, a little bit out of contention. But one of the joys of this meeting is a couple of wins can put you right back in the picture, certainly as far as qualification is concerned. Here's Heat 9, Mitch Jessup on the inside red. Next to him, Finn Thomsen, 4 points in grid number 2. 2 second places for Finn so far. Chris Morton from England and Bellevue has a 2nd and a 3rd place so far. And Scott Autrey, well, up and down a bit for Scotty. 3, a win first time, then a last in his last outing. So heat number 9 with Thomsen, Morton and Autrey all desperate for points to certainly ensure qualification. And it is Thomsen, and from the outside, Autrey going around the outside. And following him through there, it is Chris Morton. And it's very, very tight out there. Autrey breaks away. Following him round the outside goes Chris Morton, the white helmet colour. Thomsen, I think, has moved back into 3rd place. And Morton has ridden the most prodigious corner there. He's gone from 3rd to 1st in 1 lap. And that was overtaking of the highest quality. Morton leads it for England. Autrey's in 2nd place. Thomsen is 3rd. Morton, he's ridden in a world final before, but he really has been in spanking form this year in the British League. Started off during the winter, actually, a good run of form with a win in the Middle East Masters across Egypt, the Emirates and Kuwait, and he's carried on that form in British Speedway. We're in the last lap now of Heat 9, and Chris Morton, if he just hold on for a couple of laps as Autrey makes a bold move up onto his back wheel around the last 2 corners. To no avail, Chris Morton's going to win it. 2nd place is Autrey, 3rd place is Thomsen. And there are the 1st and 2nd, and it really was some hectic action on the 1st lap that brought home the bacon for Chris Morton. Number 1 on his back into draw, number 1 in Heat 9. Just to start again, you can see the rider in blue helmet colour, grid 2, Finn Thomsen it is, who has been razor sharp away from the tapes. He leads it. Watch for Autrey coming from the outside. He's in grid 4 in the striped helmet colour. He's swinging across the field there, just about level with Thomsen. He goes around the outside now in the white helmet colour. It's a tiny little man from Bellevue, real gritty North countryman. Autrey has just about got the run on Thomsen down the straight. Morton tries to follow him through the gap. Remember, they're doing something like 75, 80 mile an hour on this big track here. There's a fabulous picture. He seems to scoot there, Chris Morton. He keeps going around the outside of Autrey. He's right out where the dirt is. Bags of drive out there. He's wriggling and screwing to get the maximum amount of drive. He goes past Autrey down the home straight, run underneath our commentary box, and a really superb piece of overtaking from Chris Morton from England. Well, there's the leader at the moment, Bruce Penhall, unbeaten on 6 points. A real born winner. And he has got 1 or 2 tough opponents here as we come into Heat 10, halfway through this 1980 Intercontinental final. There is the lineup for Heat 10, as you can see. Billy Sanders has 4 points from Australia, the last Australian left in the World Championship, of course, the nation who gave the World Speedway back in the Roaring 20s. Sanders, their last hope in 1980. John Louis, well, he's been a bit patchy, a 2nd and a last, so you need points here in Heat 10 to keep in touch with the qualification spots. Penhall could do with a win to keep in touch with the title. Sanders needs points, and Peter Collins, an engine splutter first time out, then a win. So Heat 10. Missed the start, and it is Sanders who gets away, and Peter Collins around the outside. In third place it is Louis, though Penhall's moved into third place now, but it is Sanders who leads. Second place is Collins. Bruce Penhall must try the very, very wide run, and he really has lost an awful lot of ground there as Sanders leads. Second place now Collins. Bruce Penhall, the leader, unbeaten. Looks like he has got an awful lot to do here in Heat 10. Into lap 3 of heat number 10. Peter Collins chasing hard, not really making much impression on Sanders, and Bruce Penhall rode a rather immature first lap, it must be said, is way back in third place. Well, Collins is trying a crafty curve route, but I'm sure that Sanders is completely aware of what the game is. He's in control. He's going to win Heat 10. Win for Sanders. Second place Collins. Third place Penhall. Way at the back there, John Louis. That's going to open up the title chase, because Sanders now moves on to 7 points overall, and that's the same as Penhall, because Penhall dropped 2 there. So the race for the title is on, and the race for those qualification places is surely going to develop into a dogfight in the second half of this meeting. Should be an interesting Heat 11, because if either Jessup in the inside or Niemi in grid 3 win it, they would go in the lead. Jessup, of course, the favourite. Niemi, the complete outsider, really has been a surprise. John Davis in grid 2 needs points. He has 3 so far, and so too does Ivan Mauger from the outside, because he's only got 2. We remember so graphically 1977 when Davis and Mauger clashed on the first corner, resulted in an exclusion for John Davis, and Mauger's moved right across onto Niemi. You can see there. I wonder if that's psychology. Niemi has made 2 jet-propelled starts in his first 2 rides. Starting so important at this level. It really is tense. An awful lot at stake. The World Championship title worth at least £100,000 next year for the winner. Jessup, Davis, Niemi, Mauger. Heat 11. And Davis from the inside. Jessup and Davis, Mauger trying to go very, very wide, and I think he's pretty well got around John Davis. Yes, he has. So Jessup leads it. Mauger's way out in the dirt there on the outside. Davis is in third place and moves through into second place there. Niemi now trying to push hard under Ivan Mauger as Jessup is in the lead. There's Dave Jessup. Davis locks up in second place. Sorted out a bit now. Here's David Jessup leading Heat 11. A real battle going on for third place here, and Jessup's in trouble. Jessup has packed up, and there is untold drama. David Jessup in the lead. We saw this. Oh, that's a tragedy for the lad. We saw this in 1978 when it cost him the world title. Now into the last lap now. We've lost Dave Jessup. John Davis moves into the lead, and Niemi's in second place, and Mauger is a long way back in third. Heat 11, and the drama coming on thick and fast. Davis gratefully takes 3 points. Second place Niemi, third Ivan Mauger. David Jessup had the race in his pocket. We wonder if there's some bogey somewhere that really haunts him on these big events, because that was tragic luck. Davis stepping in, taking 3 points there, takes him up to 6, which ought to make sure of a final place. A little bit lucky there, but well, that is speedway racing. Dave Jessup, that was desperately bad luck. Can you tell us if you have any idea exactly what happened to the bike there in that race?
Well, Dave, it does appear that Lady Luck's still not with me at the moment, but well, we was obviously leading, and the big end appears to have gone very tight, obviously, with the in the engine. It appears through the lack of oil, which we can only put it down at the big end. In fact, it's gone soft, and the bit of metal's picked up and closed the oil hole, and obviously no oil to the engine, and she wouldn't last long.
Well, let's just hope that's all the bad luck for 1980, David, and good luck and good hunting for the rest of this year's World Championship.
Thank you, David.
Well, it really has been unpredictable speedway here. They've been up, they've been winning, they've been looking good. The next race they've been looking, well, indifferent. And Michael Lee there in the red helmet colour coming into Heat 12 had a win and really looked as though he might be in line to retain this Intercontinental crown, which indeed he holds. And let's have a look at the rider in blue. That's Hans Nielsen. Well, he's the Danish crown prince. They say the boy who's going to follow Ollie Olsen onto the winner's roster in the World Final. He was disappointing at this stage last year, we remember, and he's got a lot to do here. He's only got 2 third places. Bent Rasmussen's in grid number 3. Unless he really starts getting weaving, you can discount him. And Ollie Olsen, the other great Dane, well, he needs some points here because he's only got 2. And Ollie, a shadow of the former majestic Dane that we saw dominating so many World Championship events back in the 70s. 3 times world champion, of course, Ollie Olsen. And indeed, he's won this crown before, too, in 1978. So Olsen and Lee looking for points, and Nielsen in there as the spoiler. Heat number 12. And Olsen has been left at the start. Lee makes it. Nielsen, and down goes Rasmussen, and down too goes Nielsen. It was always on that one, and I think it was probably caused by Nielsen. A nasty moment on the first corner. Michael Lee is out of trouble. There is Hans Nielsen. There's Rasmussen, you can see, just getting some aid. It was terribly tight. Where did the trouble come from? The start, you can see they're terribly impatient. Olsen gets squeezed out on the outside. Lee makes the start from the inside. Across comes Rasmussen. He and Nielsen there, his fellow countrymen, really getting tight. Rasmussen's the first to go, and he's bringing down Nielsen, and really it's difficult to pinpoint who exactly was to blame for that. I would have said first Ben Bunching. Nasty wallop into the fence by both the Danes, though. Well, there is Rasmussen, and Nielsen is still down. And we said, when we looked at it again, that it was difficult to pinpoint the reason for the accident, and we have a rather surprising decision from the international referee Tore Kittelsen from Norway, because the word we've got is he's excluding both of them, and that's very unusual. We now have got the referee, the FIM referee, to have a look at that incident in Heat 12 again. Tore Kittelsen, it must be said, one of the world's most experienced and well-respected referees. Tore, here's Heat 12 again. Now you talk us through it.
Yeah, the start is very difficult for me. I cannot use any slow motion up in my head, but have a look now. See all the riders coming into the first bend. In my opinion, both of the riders were... Come and have a look now. You see the rider in white. That's rider white, slow down. I cannot see that the rider inside him is touching it at all. Is going down, laying down, go into the fence. The next rider still riding, but now he is laying down, coming down and going right into the fence.
That's Hans Nielsen.
Yes, that's Hans Nielsen. They were both, in my opinion, both
equally to blame.
Equally to blame, yes, and therefore I had to stop the race and rerun with the 2 other riders.
Most unusual. 2 riders excluded, 2 only left in. Michael Lee on the inside, Ollie Olsen on the outside. Olsen only has 2 points so far. It's still very tense. And Olsen is the impatient one. He kicks his clutch there, but I think it's Ollie rather than the bike. Away this time. And it is Michael Lee as they both rear and pull the air up to the first corner. Lee leads it. Now Olsen trying one of his dashes around the outside, but Lee has the power down the back straight. And Ollie Olsen's right out in trouble on the dirt there at the pit corner. Michael Lee. Olsen now trying the inside run on him. Now Olsen will not give up easily, but he really has not looked in the type of form that we saw dominate World Championship events back in the late 70s. Hasn't really been a lucky World Championship hunter, although he's won the title 3 times. He's had some bad luck. We saw him at Wembley at this stage a few years ago, missing out, and we saw him in Gothenburg when he crashed first time out. Michael Lee, of course, well, he was 3rd last year, Mike Lee. We saw him in Gothenburg in the rain in 1977. He was the Crown Prince of English Speedway. Looks like he's going to make the final this year anyway. He wins it. 2nd place is Olsen. So So something of an anticlimactic heat 12. I'll be lucky for two of the giants of the sport, Ole Olsen and Ivan Mauger. As you can see, they're both really struggling to stay in touch with the qualification place. Chris Morton there on the outside, the Englishman, such a spectacular Englishman too. He has 6 points. He's equal fourth at the moment. Got John Louis, who's faded a bit after a promising start. He's got a second and 2 last places. Olsen's on the inside with 4. John Louis, the blue helmet, 2 points. Ivan Mauger, reigning world champion, needs some points as the meeting progresses now to make sure of qualifying for his 15th consecutive world final. And on the outside, it's Chris Morton, diminutive, really wriggles and twists on his bike. Good to watch. Chris Morton on the outside with 6 points in equal fourth position. Here's heat 13. So too does Olsen on the inside, and Morton was left, and now here comes Chris Morton around the board, just as we thought he would, and that's again a quite beautiful first couple of corners from Chris Morton. Second place is Mauger, third is Olsen. Louis is out of contention. And Olsen is way out on the boards there. It's a dreadful corner from Olsen, we didn't quite see that. Here is Morton, he's in no trouble. Mauger's in second place, doing the crafty stuff. Now Olsen is trying the inside run on Mauger. Really is lovely to watch Chris Morton. And old-time speed fans may well just find the odd echo and chord of the late and still lamented Peter Craven, one of the 3 Englishmen who have won the World Championship. Chris, of course, from the same parts of the world, last lap now. The way he sweeps around the outside, reminiscent of the late, great Pete Craven. Olsen's making a big bid for second place. There is Morton, though. Mauger's going to hang on for 2 points. Third place, Olsen. So Chris Morton takes 3 more points with a quite, really, perfection in passing on the first 2 corners. Bruce Penhall, joint leader after 3 starts, 2 wins and a third place, and here, coming into heat 15, he will meet another of the co-leaders. He's in the blue helmet colour with him on the start line there. That is Kai Niemi. And Kai, here's Penhall. Well, we reckoned that Bruce Penhall would be among the front runners. I really don't think that many of Speedway's 5 million fans would have said that Kai Niemi would be in with a shout at this stage. Certainly winning the title, might have been in with a qualification spot. Here's the point situation. Finn Thomsen looking for points. The Dane on the inside. Kai Niemi, the Finn, former White City rebel, so he knows his way around this track, and it showed here. His track knowledge really has come through earlier on. Bent Rasmussen, nice to see him apparently none the worse for wear for his spill last time out. And Bruce Penhall, this colourful American on the outside. Penhall is a good starter, though he's kind of dropped his head a bit. Niemi is in grid 2. And away they go, and on the inside it is Thomsen, and Penhall is going around the outside of Finn Thomsen. Can he find the drive? Yes, he can. So Penhall leads at second place. It is Thomsen. Third place is Niemi. Overall lead if he hangs on to a raceman here, the last lap of heat number 15. Three more points for Bruce Penhall. He does love to go over the finishing line doing a wheelie of triumph. There's Bruce Penhall, a real showman. Second place was Finn Thomsen. 2 more points, that takes him up onto 7, which should just about make sure of a world final place for him. And in third place, Kai Niemi, and those points there, the single one he collected, will almost guarantee him a place in the world final. Only Finland's second world finalist if he does it. But there's Penhall, he's sure of a place in the final. and he might well be a threat there as well. Heat number 17, Chris Morton, his last ride. He's in second place at the moment. Dave Jessup's in fourth place. Billy Sanders is jointly second. Ben Rasmussen, I think with respect to the Danish lad, we can forget about him here. Heat 17, Morton and Sanders could both, well, they could still both win it, but certainly could finish in the frame. So heat number 17, Dave Jessup looking for points to make sure of qualification. Here we go for heat 17. Sanders and Jessup together up to the corner. Sanders on the outside, Jessup down the inside. Chris Morton's back in third place, and Rasmussen trying to find some room around the outside. Billy Sanders is riding beautifully up front. Dave Jessup is now to withstand the thrusts and the powerful outside dashes of Chris Morton. No, Morton now switches inside and takes Jessup very, very wide. And that was a bit hair-raising there, but Morton has found a hole past Dave Jessup. And now is chasing hard after Billy Sanders, and Sanders is by no means out of his sights. And again he's gone through that gap on the inside, and again he's taken him awfully wide. And getting a bit close out there. Terrific speedway. Sanders in white, remember now. Morton around the outside, and that really is a remarkable piece of speedway. Chris Morton coming from third to first, bypassing Dave Jessup and Billy Sanders. And this little lad from Bellevue, Manchester, is beginning to look every inch a real winner. Morton wins heat 17 in the most fantastic style. Second place was Sanders. Third was Jessup. It's going to change the leaderboard at the top because it's put Chris Morton on to 12 points, and it means that Bruce Penhall must now win his last ride to win the £1,000 Sunday Mirror first prize. Another magical moment from Chris Morton. He's in second place here, trying to drive under Billy Sanders here midway through heat 17. You can see he seems to have the driver. He just catches a little bit of a slick patch, almost loses it, controls it quite beautifully. Sanders appreciates that it's given him breathing space. Now he goes in, looks across, thinks that Morton's going to come under the inside of him again, but Morton switches, preferring his more favoured outside dash, and just watch him go now. Perfectly controlled slide. Sanders has moved out to try and cover him. No way at all. He has got the drop on him, and Chris Morton really is providing the thrills and the action for us in this Intercontinental final. Heat number 18, and this really is one race where nobody can afford to finish last. We'll have a look at the lineup and the points, and you'll see what I mean. John Davis on 7, Peter Collins on 7, Ole Olsen desperate for points on 5, Finn Thomsen, his fellow Den on the outside, can't afford to drop one. Davis has switched bikes, that could be a bold gamble. Heat 18, he's on the inside. The race, really, that nobody can afford a last placing. Now they're settling. Heat 18. Davis from the inside and Thomsen from the outside. Davis leads, although Thomsen's going around him on the outside. And here comes Olsen as well, although Davis is trying the inside run as well. A tremendous picture there. On the outside it is Thomsen. Davis is in second place. Olsen's back in third, and he is looking around and must get up now. Davis moving out to the outside run where the grip is. Thomsen leads it. Second place Davis. Olsen is third. Peter Collins is back in last place. Getting a bit tight, and now Davis runs up the inside of Finn Thomsen, and Davis moves into the lead here in heat number 18. He leads in a terrific battle with Finn Thomsen. Olsen's back in third place, and Peter Collins is at the back, and that's a bit of a surprise, and it could cost him a place in the world final. Still tremendous action between Thomsen and Davis for the lead. Thomsen on the outside, Davis on the inside. These two must surely now qualify. But what's going to happen to Ole Olsen and what's going to happen to Peter Collins? That's the question. Over the line, a win for Finn Thomsen. Second place, John Davis. Third place, Ole Olsen. Last, Peter Collins. The slide rule surely must come out, but it's okay for Finn Thomsen. He's through to Wembley. So too is John Davis. The most sporting encounter there. Must be said, both of them rode an immaculate line. But Olsen, where was he? And where was Peter Collins? Well, very unusually, here are the positions after 19 races. Now, all those riders are sure of qualification. It's when we get below them that the dogfight really starts. Michael Lee through. Peter Collins must be sweating. So too must Ole Olsen, because we've got Scott Autrey, Ivan Mauger and Hans Nielsen all coming out in Heat 20. So what, a win or a second place can get them through, and it's all on Heat number 20. And just to spice Heat 20, we have another question to be asked and answered, because Bruce Penhall here on the inside in red needs to win it to win the meeting outright and become the Intercontinental champion, with a £1,000 payoff. Penhall in there to spice the brew. We could hardly really have scripted a better climax. Here is Ivan Mauger, the world champion. Well, he always plays at KG. He's left it a bit late to make sure, Ivan Mauger. Remember, he's done 14 world finals on the turn. Could he possibly, at 40 years old, go out here? The last race. Mauger will be calling on all his vast reservoirs of experience. There is the situation. Penhall, of course, needs to win here to win the meeting outright, to be the Intercontinental champion. Indeed, the first American ever to win this Intercontinental crown. The other three all need a win or a second place to make sure of qualification. That really is the crux of the battle. Whoever finishes third, well, we'll have to get the slide rules out. Ole Olsen in the pits has 6 points. He must be sweating on this one as well. Well, will the battle of wits work for the old maestro, Ivan Mauger? We'll see as they settle down for Heat 20, one of the most vital races of the 1980 Speedway season. From the inside, and so too from the outside is Hans Nielsen. Mauger's in third place. Nielsen trying to get outside Bruce Penhall. These two met in the golden helmet, and Nielsen was successful, and he's got around the outside of Penhall. And this could mean a run-off for the title, and it could mean qualification for Hans Nielsen. Mauger is in third place. You have to take your hat off to Hans Nielsen. Now Autrey has moved up under Ivan Mauger. Drilled the hole right through him, and this could mean goodbye to the World Championship for Ivan Mauger. Now Autrey into third place as they move into the third lap. Nielsen still leads it. Autrey is second. Rather, Autrey is third. It's Penhall in second. The two Americans there in second and third places. But Nielsen, my word, what a comeback from the young Dane into the last lap. Really are beginning to bunch up now. And Autrey now is up on his fellow countrymen. It really is a race to savour. Penhall again will still try the outside run. And has he left room for Autrey? No, he hasn't. And on the line it is just about Nielsen, very close. Penhall was second. Autrey was third. The crowd rising to Hans Nielsen. It looks like he got it by a tyre whip. Breath away. Nielsen there by a tyre whip. Second was Penhall. Third was Autrey. That could be important. Really a good race, this one. Neither of these characters will give up, that's for sure. Penhall inside, Morton on the outside. The Sunday Mirror £1,000 Intercontinental title at stake. Both finished on 12 points. Both had third places during their qualifying heats. Here's the run-off for the title. Penhall has made a good start from the inside, although he did well to hang on to his back wheel, and then allowed Morton to go around his favourite outside. Beautiful action around the first two corners, and Chris Morton going away for England and St George. Well, the crowd at White City loving this. Penhall, though, is moving very, very slightly up under his back wheel. He's a master strategist. Bruce Penhall going down the inside of him. This lad won't finish trying right to the checkered flag. Now switching outside. Morton looking for him. And Penhall moving up dangerously onto his back wheel. Again, Penhall trying the outside run, running in the dirt. And you look at the wrong way, Chris. He looks on the inside for him into the last lap. So is Chris Morton to be the Intercontinental champion? His most illustrious win so far, stretching down the back straight, away from Bruce Penhall, and just listen to the crowd cheering home. So a famous win for Chris Morton from England and Bellevue, really won a little bit against the odds, although Chris has been in good form. Bruce Penhall from America is second, and the crowd who've had an afternoon of drama, of upsets, of all kinds of unpredictable happenings, have something to really write home about. An Englishman winning the Intercontinental crown.
So, Bellevue's Chris Morton, the new Intercontinental champion. Bruce Penhall in second place. Third place went to Billy Sanders after a run-off with Niemi. And the rest of the qualifiers for the World Final, Thomsen, 3 more Englishmen there. John